Guys, are you exhausted from grinding every single day just to feel like you deserve to take up space? Do you carry the heavy, quiet belief that if you aren't producing, fixing, or performing, you're fundamentally unlovable? Well, today we're exposing the 5 hidden wounds of emotional neglect that are keeping you disempowered. I'm going to share how I broke out of the lone wolf trap and give you the spiritual exact tools to stop apologizing for your existence and take your power back. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Cahir. I'm here to take you one step closer to self love. And shout out to Therapy to the Point. He made a great video about the 5 wounds from emotional neglect. I watched it and I wanted to talk about my personal experience. Now, wound number one is one I still have my challenges. Like I said in every video, it's been a lot better. I'm not coming from a place like, oh, everything it's over now, which I think this might be a fallacy for people on a healing journey. I had this like, oh, I'm gonna wave a magic wand, all my traumas are gonna be gone. But I could say with certainty that there has been a lot of improvement, and this wound, even though I have challenges, it's a lot better, which is you're feeling unworthy of love. And I had struggled with this for years, guys. And how it manifested in my life was that I always thought I had to produce. And if I had a challenge of any sort, it's always my fault. It's always my fault. And not in a way like a good way of taking responsibility. It's like I just break myself into submission for having some kind of challenge. And I had this belief that I have to earn love by being productive, like all the fucking time. and and if I was resting, I'd be this bullshit lazy guy that so you can see it's not a recipe for inner peace. And the spiritual truth, what the Course in Miracles is teaching us, is that you don't grind your way to worthiness. Right? Beating yourself up or struggling is the ego keeping us trapped in the illusion of lack, this lack of love. The ego gets us because it says, "Oh, see how hardworking I am. Look at all the stuff I did." But then the moment you don't do stuff, or you don't do what you said you were gonna do, it's like, oh, you, and there goes the whip. I talk a lot in my videos. This is self beratement, this whipping ourselves into shape, and we hold on to it because we believe it serves us in some way. I really believe that it serves me because it's like, oh, if I don't have this whip, I'm gonna always be lazy. I'm not, and then if I'm gonna be lazy, I'm not gonna love myself, right? Because I need to earn my love. You see, that's a vicious cycle. What the Course teaches us is your worth is established by God. Text chapter 9. And I know the G word, pretty controversial, so I like to say source, Holy Spirit. But our worthiness, our innocence is defined by the Creator. Because if we judge ourselves by human standards, we're always going to fall up short, right? Because there's always some other milestone to achieve. Like in the game of life, there's always going to be the next level. Even Dr. K talks about it, Healthy Gamer, that he still has things he wants, and he compares himself to other creators that have more subscribers. I was like, wow, really? Like this guy, I would say he's very successful. He's got a great family. He's making really good money, and but he still sees like, oh, there's more out there, and there's always going to be more out there. But I can speak from personal experience when I let go of this belief that I have to earn my love or I have to earn love of any kind. Don't you just feel that like you can relax? And it takes practice because my nervous system is adapted to like, oh, I have to keep earning, I have to keep producing. Instead, I'm flipping the script where I produce because I want to, like making these videos. I want to. This is an expression of my creativity, of my gaming. If you're watching on YouTube, and I still have my moments where I'm very focused on productivity because it's like I said, how this culture conditions us. But at least I'm aware of it because before, when I wasn't aware, I was just acting out the unconscious programming. It sucked. And if I were to go back in time to my anxious 20 something self, like I keep saying 25 was the time I was the most anxious in my life. I would tell him, stop, treating yourself like an employee in your own life, right? I was a horrible boss to myself. Like, oh, what did you do today? Like, and if I had a challenge, I would just abandon myself. Like, oh, you have this challenge. Oh, you're struggling with university. You took this French class. You're not passing French, you little bitch. And I would only use that language because that's all I knew, guys. That's all I knew. And I think you have something like this too. I think there's something, especially this culture we live in, especially as men, that we think, oh, the more I berate myself, the more I whip myself, the more productive I'm going to be. I'm just telling you, it's not worth it, guys. And part two, he says, distrusting your own emotions. This is what happens with emotional neglect. So this is my brother who's in therapy for childhood trauma. He it's talked about that regulating yourself, you're regulating your emotions was supposed to be taught by your parents. They're supposed to mirror like, oh, when we're angry we do this. But if anyone who's grown up with emotional neglect, we were probably told, stop feeling sorry for yourself, or you're too sensitive. That's something that was told a lot in my household. Like, uh, it's like you're too sensitive, you're too sensitive, and I learned the lie that my negative feelings are a problem. That I'm being too much, and of course, I did a very bad job of hiding my negative emotions, but I looked at them as a problem, not as feedback. And this is what we worked on with Healthy Gamer a lot. That stop judging your negative emotions and looking at them just as feedback. Like, what are these emotions trying to tell me? And that has been a game changer. So I'm like, oh, I'm angry because someone crossed my boundary, or I'm frustrated because I have a belief I have to do this, instead of looking at it like, oh, I get to do this. And the consequences of distrusting your emotions is letting people cross their boundaries. I've talked about in previous videos when I was in kind of a situationship with this girl, and she kept making fun of my Polish, my second language, and I didn't have it in me to be like, hey, stop that. Or whenever would someone be like mean or nasty to me, my first reaction would be not to say anything, because I learned like, oh, if I say something, it's gonna be 10 times worse if I don't say anything. So I'm just gonna stuff it down, and of course it's gonna come up, and I could see I took a lot of my anger on my twin brother instead of processing it in a healthy way. Because if we dismiss the compass that our emotions guide us, right? They're this compass of telling us, they're this internal compass. Then we become directionless. And this is what Dr. K talks about, like using your whole self, right? We have these emotions for a reason. And I think a lot of us, especially as men, we're told not to be emotional. Right? Men don't show emotions. And that leads up to screw up things. And part three here, the lone wolf delusion. We learn to be hyper independent. And I know there's, of course, a great thing to be sovereign and independent, but it becomes to an extreme when we only rely on ourselves. Like relying on others is unsafe. And I see now that hyper independence is just avoidant attachment style dressed up as strength. That true healing requires connection. And I really only understood that when I started healthy gamer therapy counseling, and it was group. I felt that people share the same burdens as me. Because when I was trying to fix this problem by myself, I mentioned in the past I tried different modalities, CBT, hypnotherapy, and they helped. I would say they helped a bit, but not so. But the power of group therapy, of seeing your brother struggling with the same issues you do, and you're like rooting for him, like you can overcome this. I believe in you. And you're like, okay, why do I have the same mentality for myself? And this lines up really well with the Course in Miracles. Salvation is a collaborative venture. We have to do it together. And here's the thing, because in my early 20s, I was like a lone wolf. I tried, right, to develop relationships, but I didn't see that I was tolerating a lot of bullshit from other people. And I could see that maybe people, you know how guys, they like to insult each other. But for me, with my sensitive soul, I wasn't able to say like, "Oh, that's too much." Oh. And I didn't start Healthy Gamer until I was 29, when I realized I don't have to carry these burdens alone. And I encourage anyone, if you're dealing with struggles of inner peace or self-bereavement, self-loathing, to try group. I think that's very powerful. It worked for me, and I'm telling you guys, I really struggled. I struggled because when I was looking at my healing venture, like I have to do this on my own. Like yeah, I could get a therapist or whatever, but it's different, because I was looking at it as this is a solo venture. This is a solo adventure for Cahir. Cahir has to do it. But when you let go of having to do it yourself, it's like I need help. I need a group of people. Just like in Pathfinder or D&D, you're not slaying the dragon by yourself. You have help. And part 4, with chronic guilt for having needs. Oh boy, when we talked about that, I was like, oh man. I learned that having basic human needs, like needing space, setting boundaries, or literally just going to the bathroom, makes me a burden. All right, and the last part, it's, I'll reiterate. Okay, it's not like I had to, when I was growing up, I had to ask, Mama, can I go to the bathroom? No, it was just, I saw something. I remember, this is a feeling I had that, um, if I had a need to go to the bathroom, if it was inconvenient, like, oh, I'm such a big burden. What's coming up in my head was when it was marching band, when I was a freshman, and um, I didn't go to the bathroom during a break, and the guy, or um, I didn't know how much time we had, and then we're about to go back to practice, and it's like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, and I was like, I just remember the band leader, the senior, was like, oh, you couldn't go, yeah, earlier, and I remember just feeling, because especially back then when I was a teenager, and I just felt such a burden for everything. Yeah, I could have went to a break, but it's like, come on, bro. Or even recently, I remember, so I went to see a musical with my mom, and you know how the theater is, that if you need to get up, you have to ask the person to scoot. And I was like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. She's like, really? Like, you're gonna inconvenience these people? Couldn't you have gone earlier? Same shit. And I know, like my past self would be like, oh, okay, I'll just hold it. Like my need to go to the bathroom is not as important as these people's inconvenience, right? But I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, it's a little bit inconvenient, but come on, like I want to use the bathroom before I go before the show starts. I know it's like simple things like that, but when you put in perspective, you're like, oh, that's character growth for me. The spiritual truth is that needs are neutral. The guilt attached to them is a manufactured chain designed to keep us small and compliant. What the Course teaches us, guilt is always entirely mindless. Right? It's crazy. Thing like, oh, I'm such a burden. I have a biological need. It's insanity. Uh, I because I would say I'm more introverted, and I used to be. I used to like just not accept that part of myself, And I used to like, oh, why aren't I different? Why don't I just love being around people all the time? And now when I see it like it's just a need. Of course, I have some social needs. It's not super big, and that's okay. And I have a bigger need for of solitude, of space to reflect, and that's just how I'm wired, and that's okay. And now when I have that mentality, this is just a need I need to fulfill. Like in The Sims, you have those like imagine like my social meter replenishes very quickly, but the solitude. I know there isn't one. I don't think, but let's say a need for solitude, for being by myself is bigger, and instead of being like, oh man, you should, I need to reprogram myself. Like, you know what? This is who I am. I'm gonna accept that. I'm going to meet my need of solitude. Right? I spend enough time with people. I need more space for myself. And I used to be like, oh no, why are you like this? Oh, you need to be different. Which is not radical self acceptance. And I understand it's a trap, right? Because we're in an extrovert world where it's valued to be super outgoing. But that pain of not accepting myself was not worth trying to change myself. In fact, now I just accept myself for who I am, and that's in their peace, guys. Uh, that's a realization I made also with Healthy Gamer when I just accepted who I am. Like, okay, I socialized. Now I'm gonna need 3 days by myself. Boom. Might be weird for some people, but I don't care anymore because I'm looking out for me, man. Life just becomes easier when you see like, oh, I'm just here to meet my needs. And like I've said in my previous videos, that I even know I had needs. That's how bad it was. But now when I see like I have needs, I'm gonna fulfill them. I'm gonna meet them. Life gets easier. Instead of like, oh, I no, I don't have a need for solitude. No, no, no. I'm totally extroverted. And point five, the chameleon curse. When the video talks about struggling to know who you are. And that was a big one, guys. And I know it's normal, like when you're a teenager or whatever. Like, who am I? But that, I just always felt like a chameleon. I would change my personality based on the people I was with. I didn't, I didn't trust that I could be who I really was. I remember when I started getting even more spiritual. I was I have this memory. I was like listening to Abraham Hicks in the morning. I was 14 years old, and my mom like yanks my headphones to like listen to what I'm listening to. It's like, wow, what is this for? Like, maybe she didn't say that word, but I remember it's like, oh, what is this weird? um, and also my brother was into tarot cards and all this like all the spiritual stuff, and that didn't go down well. um, I just remember like, who is Cahir? Who is he really? Also adding about this dual identity I have about being Polish American, and that's another bag of worms. Might make a separate video again about it. But it sucks. It sucks not accepting like uh, this is who I am. I'm going to express myself fully. Instead, be like, oh, if people see for who I really am, they're gonna abandon me and they're gonna call me weird, bro. That really fucking sucks. I don't want that for you, man. I mean, guys, fitting in is suffocating, right? Our true self, the one that express himself fully, and the one that says it's okay to be messy, it's okay to not have all the answers, man, that's liberating stuff. Going to the course, lesson 204. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. When we stop trying to fix ourselves and just accept where we are right now, this holy instant, we let go of these shoulds, these expectations, and we just get to breathe. Like, I am as perfect as God created me, no matter what. This is who I am. And what's helped me finding who I am is exploring what actually excites me. What are my passions? And that's why improv helped me 110%. Was able to pursue my passion and to see like, oh, this is who I really am, like this unburdened self, the guy who's on stage, who doesn't care what he says, and he's he could be funny, he could be not funny, he's just present on stage. That's me. And even having that glimpse, like this guy exists, this is who I really am, this is who I want to be more of, it's liberating. And no one told me like, hey Cahir, go do improv, I think it's good for you. It came from inner guidance. No, I love acting. I I did improv before. I feel like it can help me. I've made videos about it. And following that passion allowed me to express myself more fully and keep practicing that true identity instead of the traumatized, wounded self that I was practicing. Because that's why I feel like the chameleon is just a role that we keep practicing, that we forget who we really are. It's this mask we wear. So I had this frame like, oh, I need to be this chameleon so people can like me. In fact, but then the opposite would happen. People wouldn't like me because they could sense like, oh, this guy's like inauthentic. I don't like that. That's unattractive. And it's like the paradox, right? We have to face the fear, be like, I don't care if they like me or not. I'm going to express myself fully for who I want to be, who I really am. And to be kind and gentle with ourselves, knowing this is a process and this will take time. I didn't take off the mask one day and be like, oh, I'm my true authentic self. It's a process. And it's an ongoing process, but it's a million miles away. I remember just feeling trapped of this wounded trauma based identity. Like, oh, I'm this anxious, shy guy. And yeah, sometimes I could be maybe not as outgoing as I want to be. But when I love and even accept that part of myself, that wounded aspect of myself, be like, hey, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I know you're feeling fear. Maybe you're feeling anxious, but it's going to be okay because I love you no matter what. That's what the Course is teaching us. And the thing about this healing journey is relying on a higher power. That's the purpose of this channel, because I know maybe more, some of us are not so spiritually inclined, but I am. I was obviously very spiritual, and it's helped me so much on my healing journey. Of course, especially the Course in Miracles, lesson 47. God is the strength in which I trust. If you're trusting in your own strength, you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. What can you predict or control? What is there that can be counted on? God is your safety in every circumstance. There's a great line in the Course. I forgot, but it's like, who walks beside me, right? But the Holy Spirit, right? That we have a strength outside of our imagination, outside of what we know. And I encourage you guys, the next time you feel the familiar knot of anxiety, the one telling you that you're a burden, that you need to apologize for existing, or that you have to handle a problem totally alone, I want you to stop, take a breath, and say, I am not relying on my own strength right now. God is the strength in which I trust. And just drop that burden. If you saw yourself in any of these 5 wounds today, let me know in the comments and tell me which one hit you the hardest. And of course, if you like healing content like this, please subscribe. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. Take care.